I've always thought that marketing in so many different ways is much like playing the piano. At its core, it's an art of synchronization. You know, you're not just hitting random keys and hoping for the best. You've got to strategize, plan, and orchestrate every single note with very clear intentions. But too often, marketing teams are often struck with some sort of dissonance. You know, data's all over the place, scattered across the board, teams are out of sync, and things just are falling flat. Thriving as a modern marketer ultimately is about learning how to take all of those scattered pieces, bring them in sync, and orchestrate a strategy that syncs. And let's be honest, being a modern marketer is not for the faint-hearted. You've got data that's scattered all over the place, teams that are often out of sync, and things that ultimately feel like they're falling flat. So it's not just about having all of the latest tech or all the right data in the perfect place. It's ultimately about having courage, learning to challenge the status quo, and ultimately make things happen. As head of digital for Ria Money Transfer in the APAC region, my journey has always been driven by curiosity and a determination to keep pushing forward even when things got tough. Very early on in my career, I learned that opportunities don't wait. They need to be seized. And just like a musician learning to play the perfect piece of music, sometimes you have to trust your gut, and your instincts will end up leading you to find that right progression. The task ahead of me seemed very overwhelming. Unifying a huge amount of data scattered across different teams, different regions seemed nearly impossible. And everything we had tried to do up until this point fell completely flat. So ultimately what I needed to do was find a solution that would help me unify that data, bring a little bit of harmony to that noise, and that's when I decided to create something from scratch, much like writing a piece of music that hadn't been written yet. I found Funnel and set aside 3 days to build a solution from the ground up. But in that process, I realized I wasn't just fixing a marketing problem, I was confronting my own uncertainty. There was this voice in my head, you know, what if this doesn't work? What if I mess up and everyone sees it? And that voice kept getting louder and chipping away at my confidence. I kept questioning if I would even pull this off. But there was another voice. It was quieter, but it was there. You can do this, keep going, figure it out, just one more try. By the third night, running pretty much just on instincts and caffeine, things really started to fall into place. Looking back, those sleepless nights weren't just about solving a problem. They were about quieting my doubt, trusting my instincts, and ultimately realizing how much I'm capable of when I fully commit to something. When I presented the results to the wider team, everything changed. What had been a bottleneck for us for years was ultimately changed overnight. But the change wasn't just in how we reported on our marketing campaigns. The change ended up being in me. I realized the power of taking bold action and trusting myself to deliver. I've always trusted my gut, and I understand the power of instinct. But ultimately, just like a musician, instinct can only get you so far. Even the best musicians have to refine their skills, practice, and solidify their knowledge. In the same way, real growth comes as a marketer when you fuse instinct with perspective, insights, and the courage to adapt. This realization became the foundation for a talk that I delivered, From Instinct to Insight. Speaking to a room full of marketers, I shared how I transitioned from playing by ear to making informed, confident decisions that not only felt right, but were backed by data and experience. The shift wasn't about abandoning intuition, it was about enhancing it. With Funnel, I had the insights that I needed to trust the data I was looking at and make bold decisions. And to do that, you need a tool that you can trust. That confidence rippled through my team and completely transformed how we tackle any challenge. This journey wasn't just about solving problems. It was about learning to lead. Seeing the people that I work with innovate and start to think outside the box was the most rewarding part of this whole experience. Our work wasn't always easy. Before, our processes were tedious and time-consuming, which completely drained morale and creativity. But when things changed, so did we. Those same teams now had a newfound confidence and were able to focus on what mattered most: creativity, strategy, and results. This wasn't just a win for the company. It was a lesson for me in the power of leadership. Supporting others to succeed, empowering them with the right tools, and helping them see their potential became my new mission. The changes in my work didn't just stay at work. They transformed my life. I no longer felt like I was frantically playing an off-key tune. I found my rhythm. And now I can focus on what truly matters. Just as a pianist knows when to let the music breathe, I learned to pace myself, working smarter, not harder. That clarity allowed me to enjoy the process, embrace new challenges, and still have time for life outside of work. If there's one thing I've learned, it's that true growth doesn't come from waiting for the perfect moment or the perfect plan. It's about trusting yourself to play, even if you don't have the full sheet music in front of you. The biggest breakthroughs come from taking risks, learning from your mistakes, and staying curious. At its core, great marketing is just like great music. It's about finding flow. When you align your instincts with your insights, when data and creativity play in harmony, you stop focusing on disjointed efforts and you begin to compose something extraordinary. Marketing, like a masterful piano performance, isn't just about playing the right notes. It's about crafting something unforgettable. So, take the stage, own the rhythm, play boldly, and trust yourself to compose a masterpiece.